Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to another vlogmas. How are we? How are we doing? It's already like 10 a.m. I've just been working from my bed, which I don't normally do, but it is freezing. The temperature's dropped so much and it just feels like winter is fully here. I could not brave getting out of bed this morning. Plus I've been sleeping with Mochi since Will's been away and it's just been so snuggly and so nice. I thought it'd be fun to film a little like day in the life, what it's like behind the scenes as a full-time content creator. I asked you guys over on Instagram to send in your questions just regarding anything, whether it's like brand deals, equipment. Oh, my belly's rumbling. Not a good start to the morning, working in your bed and not having breakfast. I'm gonna actually like get ready for the day now, but yeah, I thought I would take you guys along. I don't think I've ever really filmed one of these. I haven't been a full-time content creator for very long, so obviously I haven't filmed one of these. But yeah, I'll be sure to do a little Q&A section in today's video. Truth be told, I just want to keep up with Vlogmas, and today's a really busy work day for me, just in terms of I have like some brand deals I need to film and stuff, and the way brand deals work is you need to obviously like film them prior to uploading them. They need to get approved and all of that, so it gets a bit hectic with Vlogmas, so I hope that's okay. Some of you have actually requested this. I get so many questions on Instagram and comments quite a lot asking about different elements of this line of work, so I hope you find it interesting. You guys can always message me on Instagram if you ever have questions about stuff, but let's start the day. This morning I was focusing on, there's some brand work that I need to film today, so I was writing up a script. That's how I like to kind of structure my brand deals, like being more time efficient when I'm filming, but also making sure I'm getting the right message across, so I like to script stuff. Obviously like normal chatty bits like this are not scripted. And now I'm just gonna get ready, film it, edit it, send it off to my management, and then they'll pass it on to the brand. I don't really feel like filming it in my PJs. Show! Plus, I still haven't unpacked from Paris, so I just need a bit of a like reset, busy work day in my life. Let's go, let's do it. Mochi was a little bit sick yesterday. I know. You guys always ask for him when he isn't in vlogs, it's so sweet. And yeah, he threw up a couple times yesterday, bless him. I don't know why, he seems okay today. Mommy has a sicky doggy, a pretty little baby. Ready for the day. I'm just about to film a little sponsored segment. One of the main questions I got was definitely like, what camera do I use? And I get that question all the time. I wasn't just in that Q&A. So this is like my main camera. I actually just recently got it. It is the Sony A7C and I use this pretty big lens. This is a Tamron 24 to 70mm lens. I love it just because of that focal length that it has, and it has a, I think, a 2.8 aperture, so you get that nice blurry background. This is heavy though, like vlogging with this is very tricky, but I do love the quality that this camera gives off. This is my first ever full frame camera, so again, just nicer quality and everything. I'm very much still wanting to learn more. I learn more every single day about this kind of tech stuff. I'm not a pro, but yeah, I really recommend this setup. Plus the Tamron lens, oh no, sorry, this is Sigma, not Tamron. The Sigma lens is cheaper than like some of the Sony lenses, which is why I picked it, and it still does an amazing job. And then the camera I'm on right now, this is the Sony ZV-1 camera, my vlog camera. It is tiny, like you guys can see the difference between this and that camera, massive. So no wonder like this is my go-to vlog camera. It fits like in most of my bags and stuff, so I can bring it around with me wherever I go, and the quality on this is really nice. I personally prefer this to a lot of its like competitors. I've had like the Canon EOS M50, which is a really great camera because it has interchangeable lenses. Like you can interchange the lens, whereas this is fixed. But I don't know, this is just really easy. I don't like the kit lens that comes with the Canon EOS M50. I feel like the quality isn't how I like it anyway. Whereas this has a really nice low aperture. You can create the blurred background. There's like a button. This camera is literally just made for content creators, like how it has a light here so you know it's filming. It has a flip out screen. The autofocus on this as well is the best, just in terms of like tracking the face. Anyway, I'm gonna film my little sponsor segment now. I have 2 to film and let's get cracking because it's like already 12 p.m. so I am still behind schedule. Question I get asked quite a lot from you guys is, what editing software do I use? I use Final Cut Pro, which tends to be kind of like the YouTuber standard one. That and Adobe Premiere Pro. I've used Adobe Premiere Pro before. It's really, really good. It's actually more sort of like industry standard for filmmakers and stuff. I started on iMovie, so I feel like Final Cut Pro was the natural next step. But yeah, Final Cut Pro, I absolutely love it. I think it's like £300. It's definitely a big investment, but when that time is right, it makes sense for sure. I think I used iMovie for the first 5-6 months, like half a year of doing YouTube, and that works amazingly. But if you're someone who likes to play around with editing, trying new effects and learning more, then iMovie can be a bit restrictive, and I really, really recommend Final Cut Pro. So I'm just gonna edit this little segment and send it off to my management as soon as I can. This is always what happens. If he would just like stay on my lap, it would be fine, but because he's really long, you're a bit awkwardly shaped, and you just want to be on a table. It means mommy has to put you back on the floor. Okay, so that's all edited and sent off. That took me about half an hour, which is speedy for me, but it's because I'm in a rush. I now need to film a little clothing haul, hence why I'm changed. I want to get some sort of variation. The frustrating thing as well about creating content in winter, like this time of the year, is obviously it starts to get dark. Well, like it starts to get gloomy around 3:30. After 3:30, you can tell it's getting dark, so I hate that. Miss summer where you can film at 8 p.m. and no one can tell. So I need to do this, then I need to crack on with editing today's video, the thing with vlogmas. Obviously there's a video every day and I really, really don't want to miss out today, so let's do it. Okay, another question I've been asked a lot is about my camera settings. Like, is there anything special I do? Not really. So like, as you can see here on my Sony a7C, I like to have this all on like program auto. I like to make sure I always have, sorry, excuse my nasty nail, I have no time to go get them done. I like to have the aperture as low as it can be, and obviously as well have autofocus on. Just works with whatever I'm showing. Really, really simple. I don't do anything fancy. I do have it on, I think 50 frames per second. That enables me to be able to put any clip into slow-mo nice and seamlessly without it being like jittery or whatever the word is to describe it. Basically just means it's in the right format. In terms of like ISO, all of that, I let it sit on automatic until I have learned more about how all of that works. And that's like a New Year's resolution for me, to learn more about cinematography, especially for things like my morning routines, like how can I make all of that look even more cinematic, and I think it will definitely be, the key is in learning how to use this camera properly. Clothing haul is all done here. Sorry, Alexa, pause. Here is the normal aftermath. It is now like 2 p.m. I've just realized that I need to shoot like some thumbnail photos because I'm hoping to upload a morning routine this evening. And for my morning routines, I like the thumbnail to be like pre-shot photos, nice and aesthetic. And I need to think about what photos do I want to do. I obviously need to do it before it gets dark. So I'm gonna shoot thumbnail photos now. Hi. I just want to show you guys when I'm looking for some inspiration for thumbnail photos. I like to head over to Pinterest, and I normally find some good inspiration there. So I'll type in like aesthetic morning routine, and then as you can see, like photos, photo collages and stuff will pop up, and it just gives me, I don't know, ideas of what kind of thing to go for. Like for example, that photo is really cute, so I might try like recreate something similar. So I love using Lens Buddy to shoot photos when I don't have Will and it's just me. Thumbnail is all shot. Hopefully I got some good ones in there, but it's now focus time, so I need to edit away until, I'm hoping to get this video at 6 p.m. So I'm thinking 3 solid hours of editing and trying not to be too fussy should be enough time. But yes, lighting the candles, setting a mood and ambiance. And I'm gonna get to work now. Have myself a cup of tea. I should probably make some coffee. I also need to make some food, so I'm gonna turn on the oven. Chaotic work day in my life where I have a few too many things on today. Another question I was asked was, how do I record my voiceovers? And so I use this mic I actually got years ago, super inexpensive. The Samsung what do you call this? C01U Pro. It's just a USB mic, which is super handy. It doesn't need I went to music school, I need to remember this, a sound card. So you literally just plug it into your computer, you record super easy, and I love the quality on this. There's the Yeti mic as well, that's really popular, I think a little bit more expensive. I'll see if I can find this on Amazon and link it in my storefront. All of my equipment is linked in my storefront, by the way. This is such a random lunch. I am not suggesting this as a meal idea at all. I've got, what's this, Linda McCartney mozzarella burgers and some sushi rice, leftover sushi rice. I have a food shop coming tomorrow, hence the most random meal ever, but at least it should be yummy and filling. And back to editing we go. To answer another question, for copyright-free music, I love to use Epidemic Sound. I just have a subscription and it works really well. They have so many songs as well. Like, you're never gonna struggle to find a song. And music tends to be the last thing I do. Well, I kind of do it as I go, but with like voiceover videos, it'll be the last thing I add in. So I'm almost done. And I also color grade. I have just bought LUTs online. If you Google LUTs, there's so many out there. Kind of like how you would buy a preset filter for Instagram. Always, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, I'm done. It is 8 minutes to 6. I was hoping to have this go live at 6, but it's probably gonna look more like 6:30, which is okay, because it's vlogmas, so the schedule's all a bit all over the place. So whilst that exports, uploads, all that good stuff, I use that time to make a thumbnail, and I like to use Canva. Export the photos that I took earlier from my phone, and I just put them into a very simple template. So as you can see, I shot a bunch on Lens Buddy, as you saw, and now I'll just pick my favorite ones and go from there. Time is now, okay, it's 5 minutes to 7, so a bit later than I planned. But I just need to quickly edit one of the sponsored segments I filmed earlier, because it is due today. I know it's like past business working hours, but yeah, that's the earliest I could have done it, so I need to crack on with that. Hopefully it will only take like half an hour like the earlier one. And then hopefully I'll be able to sit down and chat to you all, do the little Q&A segment. So, oh my goodness, what a day. Today was productive though. Days all look very different. Today was a bit of a weird day, like jumping from different task to task and then finishing them quickly. But I just feel really good that I uploaded. There's like no better feeling than when you've uploaded and like that's your mission, that's you done. But we're gonna do a little Q&A. I'm gonna hope that Mochi stops squeaking his ball. Grab yourself a cup of tea, because this is gonna be chatty. Straight up, there was a lot of questions about brand deals. How do brand deals work? How much money can you make from brand deals? Da da da. So how much money can you make from brand deals? This completely varies. And I, obviously being at nearly 150k subscribers on YouTube, I've done the whole spectrum up until there. So how much I made when I had 5k is obviously very different to how much brands pay to work with me now. But essentially how brand deals work is you'll come up with an agreement with a brand that you like and you think would naturally integrate into your channel. You think you can like naturally and authentically recommend the product, the service, whatever it is, to your audience. I don't know why I'm explaining this when you obviously see this in my videos. Sponsorships. That's a big chunk of how content creators make money. I'm not gonna say how much I make, but what I will say is how it obviously depends on your growth, your engagement, and the type of video, even like how long the integration is gonna be. So is it like a dedicated video they want, or is it a 2-minute integration? What makes you the most money, AdSense or brand deals? This is a really interesting question because I think every creator is different. I think generally across the board, most content creators probably make more money from brand deals. That's just like the general consensus. I think for me, it's actually quite even. So with AdSense, like you receive one paycheck a month. If I've had a video that's done really well, for example, like my autumn morning routine, then obviously that month is gonna be a lot higher than normal. And it's just not the most like reliable source of income. But for a while now, my AdSense revenue has been, yeah, like the same amount of money I make from brand deals, if not slightly higher. What made you more money, your full-time job or creating content online? For those of you who don't know, I was a social media manager for a company here in London for like almost, oh no, it was slightly over a year. And that was incredible, an amazing experience. I learned so much working in like a startup environment and running a social media page for a company. But sadly, like the time came where I just couldn't juggle both anymore. And my content creator job, this was starting to make me substantially more than my full-time job, where it just didn't make sense to be like trying to juggle both. And it was really getting to me that I like didn't feel like I could do either to their full potential. Working that much isn't healthy, and it's more also just like mentally not feeling like fully present when I'm doing either job. But yeah, for me that's why I went full-time, because this, even though is a way less stable career choice, it has been making me like a lot more than my full-time job. So I took the leap and here we are. When do you know if you're ready for management? This is such a great question, and my manager will be able to answer this a lot better than I can. I'm signed with the Aesthetic Collective. I've had management for over a year now, and it has completely changed the game for me. but that's based off of me, my circumstances, and my skills. So I am not an admin whiz. Like, I'm terrible with spreadsheets and organization on that side, and negotiating emails, all of that. I don't enjoy it. Back and forth communication was becoming quite difficult, like handling all of that whilst also making all the content and also juggling my job at the time. And my friend started her agency, and she has worked in like the influencer world for way longer than I have. So I was like, take me on. And yeah, it's worked out super well for me. I think the thing is, like, if you start to feel like you are struggling to manage your emails, just can imagine like someone taking care of that would allow you a lot more time to focus on content. That's probably when you're ready, and also when you are making money, because an agency can't sign you on if you aren't gonna make them any money. Like, it's their job as well. An agency isn't there, even though they're there for support all the way and everything, but it isn't coaching, so it isn't gonna get you to that stage of making money. What's the first thing I should invest my money in? Very good question. The very first thing I invested my money in was a camera, the Canon EOS M50, a great starting point camera, but they're expensive. They're really, really expensive. I remember that camera was around the £500 mark when I bought it. So I say this to everyone, like, you shouldn't be telling yourself like, oh, I need to wait to buy a camera to start a channel. It shouldn't be like that, because, well, if you have a phone with a good camera on it, that's enough to start. There's just so much you can do with that. I actually still vlog on my phone, like if I'm out and about. I have a GoPro, which I love to use for out and about vlogs and really get that like fisheye appearance, which I know some of you don't like because it makes you dizzy, and I'm really sorry about that. I've tried to like crop in the lens a bit to help with that, but this is amazing, and it's also like really smooth. The quality is really nice. I guess another thing to invest in, like in the earlier stages, would be, if you feel like you're ready, then a better editing software. I'm sorry if you can hear him munching on his bum, but that's the only way he'll stop squeaking his ball, and he's mad at me because it's 8 PM and I'm still not giving him attention. But Will's gonna be home really soon, so what was I talking about? Yeah, so if you want to upgrade to like Final Cut Pro, definitely worth it. I'd say like the first things to think about are camera, editing software, and then maybe things like a copyright-free music subscription like Academic Sound. Can't emphasize enough, like, you don't need to spend money when you first start out. Work out if this is for you, if you like it first before you invest in it. What do you think is harder work, working a full-time job or being a social media content creator? Ooh! It depends what full-time job you're talking about. I think for me personally, like this, my YouTube, what I do is harder than what I did for my full-time job. The hard bit of it all was like juggling both. But there are aspects that are hard about that job, and there's aspects that are hard about this. But in a general sense, is being a social media content creator harder than being a nurse? No, like this is, I think, such a privilege to have this job. I absolutely do not take for granted, and there are days where I can't believe this is my job, and then there are days where I'm like, ah, what is this as a job? So yeah, I love it and I really can't complain. When did you feel like you could go full-time? When I started making like over double what I was making at my full-time job, that kind of period where that income was consistent and it was just going up, and also I felt like I couldn't do both anymore. There's quite a few questions on how do you have the confidence to film outside the house? How do you vlog in public? That is very awkward, I have to admit, but you do have to just think in your mind like you're gonna see that person for like 5 seconds. Worst case scenario, like someone's gonna ask you, can you please not film? And you have to be respectful. So I think I've been told off for filming like in a market or in a shop a couple times, and it is always awkward. But I know that my videos are a lot more interesting if I get like that kind of content, outside POV shots and everything. So yeah, but it is awkward. How do you stay motivated and where do you get your inspo? You guys, your response to my videos always is the biggest motivator, so thank you so much. I get so much inspiration from other creators, and also weirdly like documentaries and stuff in terms of filming techniques and editing techniques. I like to try and challenge myself or freshen things up every now and then. What cameras do you own? Do you use different cameras for different videos? I know I touched on this earlier, but I didn't list everything. So within a video, I think I filmed this video all on one camera. just to keep it easy because today's been so busy. But in a typical vlog, it will be my my big Sony a7C, this the Sony ZV-1 for light outdoor stuff, my GoPro for like real world, just need to quickly film like me walking around or my environment, whatever, and also my phone. And then also I still have my Canon EOS M50 with a Sigma 60mm lens, which creates quite a similar look to my Sony a7C. I'd say that's like a really good, cheaper alternative. Some questions about what mindset shifts helped you achieve the success you have today, and also like there was a similar one. Oh yeah, what changes did you make / what did you implement into your content that you noticed the most growth from? I think niching down, and that's like such boring, generic advice, but for me, 100%. Finding my editing style as well. Like I used to do as many effects and transitions and sounds as I could, and I learned the hard way, like sometimes less is more with editing. And quality, like I think that's what people like to see from me, not necessarily in this video, but like with my routine videos. And then my routine videos that people really liked, that kind of content, like wellness. So as soon as I kind of focused on creating consistent, regular wellness content, people kept coming back. And also a big thing is the YouTube algorithm kind of could put me in like one box and be like, okay, that's her thing, and when she makes videos about that, like we know to push it because people like those style of videos from her. How do you know your worth when it comes to brand deals and rates? This is really, really hard, and another reason why I recommend signing with management if you don't know the difference between when I signed with management, like how much I was charging when I was in charge of my emails. When you have management, sometimes that kind of looks more official. They're also experts, they know how to negotiate. There's different resources and websites online where you can kind of get like a ballpark figure depending on your engagement and your size of following. Any tips for beginners on YouTube? There's so many, but I think you have to be consistent, otherwise the algorithm's just gonna ignore you. Do not underestimate the power of thumbnails and also titles. Like do your research into what is trending, what is the algorithm actually gonna pick up. If you pick something completely niche, like no one's searching for it. We all get inspiration from other creators, but you're not gonna get far if you blatantly copy someone. Find what makes you you, what's authentic to you, and roll with it. And also the power of community. Build a really strong community. I'm gonna end there. Thank you so much to everyone who sent in questions. Always feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any more questions, or just leave them in the comments. But yeah, that is the work done for today. I'm gonna do some laundry, I think. I'm waiting for Will to come home before we have some dinner. But yeah, it's been a really productive day. Also, little trick, I don't have like a ring light, but it's obviously pitch black outside right now, and I was filming this, I need some light, so I just used my TV and I went on YouTube and found just like white screen. It works quite well. Okay, that's my last tip, that's it. Ah! Time to unpack. Oh my word, what a mess. Your dad's home!
Yeah, I know, it's so exciting.
How was football?
We lost.
Oh.
Just one of those, it was so cold. Oh,
yeah!
So glad to be home.
Think we're gonna have takeout tonight because it's easy and it's Friday night.
Friday night, it's Saturday, Sunday, what?
Our food arrived.
Woo!
Watching
Megan
Megan and Harry.